भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all. Thou art all. Thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let us close our eyes and feel our deepest core of consciousness. Which is unchanging, beyond the changing universe, body and mind. That is our true identity. Let us focus on that. In the form of a steadily burning candle flame. I see with concentration this candle flame becomes bigger and bigger, brighter and brighter. It has filled my whole personality. And also the whole universe. All the apparent, continuously changing variety is now merged in this luminous ocean of consciousness. I am that. Om. Peace. 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 Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. That Absolute is perfect. This relative too, as the reflection of the Absolute, is perfect. The relative Absolute emerges from the Absolute. When the relative Absolute goes away, what remains is also perfect. Peace, peace, peace. The topic chosen for today's discussion is very interesting, at the same time quite confusing, confounding, controversial. That is there any scientific proof of reincarnation? Can it be proved scientifically? And the short answers again is confusing, yes and no. Because let us examine what science proves, if it proves anything. Science, when we look at it philosophically, it presents possibilities. It does not and basically cannot prove anything. Because it is based on what is called inductive logic. Inductive logic means, that you see that one man dies, another man dies, another man dies, and thus you make a conclusion thereby that all men are mortal. So that is an inductive logic, that you take case by case, and thus you generalize that therefore we conclude that all men are mortal. This is the process of inductive logic. So it is, it has no proof as such, because who knows, there could be a man who doesn't die at all, Who knows? You do not have, you haven't found it so far. But that does not exclude the possibility of something found like that in future. Science has, collects data and analyzing, observing, arranging that data, it comes to certain conclusions. And it many times challenges the obvious perception that we have. For example, the great scientific discovery made long ago, centuries ago, which completely contradicts our day-to-day observation. For example, we see in our day-to-day observation, if we believe that, then we see Earth is flat. It is. Everybody sees Earth is what? Flat. It is not round. But when we collect various observations, analyze the data, then we come to the conclusion that the Earth is round. This is a scientific conclusion. Not exactly proved, but arrived at, let us say. In future, it can change as well. The nature of science is therefore empirical, that whatever data we have at present, based on that the conclusions are made, but that data keeps on expanding, changing, and therefore what we conclude now can be toppled by some data that comes later. One very important something that happened in 1940s, that Einstein's theory predicted that light has weight. It has a mass and therefore it has weight. It can be attracted by gravity. That was his thesis theory. What about experimental verification of it? Because one of the main criterion that of this criteria of science is verifiability. Can it be verified? And the verification now you cannot really detect it with our present, the scales available here on the earth. Oh, this without light was weighing 2 pounds, and with light it weighs 2 pounds, because you are not able to, your scale is not so fine-tuned to exactly measure that microgram of that weight. So you conclude no. But there was a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse, and at that time the scientists led by Arthur Eddington, they had the chance to verify, because now with the eclipse you can see through telescope, that too, some distant star, and see the passage of the light coming very close to the sun. And the observation proved that the light gets bent. That beam of light is bending towards the sun, showing that yes, what Einstein theoretically it said is evidenced by this verification, this proof. So it gets in a way proved. But these are again very abstract things. The very concepts of weight, mass, and so forth. So the future data that we gather about it may be able to disprove everything that we have been thinking. There is a very nice statement made in the introduction of a very famous popular science book by that Brief History of Time. Who wrote it? Brief History of Time. Exactly, thank you. Stephen Hawking. So Stephen Hawking, that book became a really bestseller book. And he described the very nature of physical science. He said that he has put a bet with a friend of his that black holes do not exist. And people asked, well, you were so much research you did on black holes, and you say now that you have put a bet that black holes do not exist. What does it mean? He said, this is like the insurance policy of my research. This insures, because what happens, that the science changes. Now I have done black hole research, but after some time somebody will prove that black holes never existed, and then all my research will go down the drain. But in that situation, I will at least have the consolation that I have won the bet. So that is how it beautifully points out the limitations of our science. So science in that way cannot prove anything, and therefore cannot prove rebirth as well. It is. But then in the empirical sense, science verifies things in more or less a probabilistic way. Science does not furnish any mathematical proof. Mathematics, like you have, suppose for example, a simple geometric example, that the sum of 3 angles of a triangle always is 2 right angles. This is something that you all must have learned in middle school. Now, on the paper, when you draw a triangle and this thing, you can prove it. But when you apply that to a triangle on the earth, where you will be working, now it doesn't become like that, because earth is round, so the flat geometry does not work on earth. Moreover, it all depends on observation, and the observations, they are never ever be accurate. You will use some scale, and there will be imperfection about the scale. Very minute it may be, but it will be there. And therefore, it is only an approximation that it can come to, but not anything like proving. Proof is not possible. There was a great philosopher of science. He wrote a very nice book. He was Austrian, means born there, educated there, then moved to New Zealand, and then worked in England, passed away in England. It is not too long ago, actually. So he passed away in 1990s. His name was Karl Popper. And the Popper may not have the English meaning there, not that he passed away Popper, but it is the name is like that. So he has written many books. His work on the philosophy of science, the logic of scientific discovery, that is title of one of his books. And there he posits another way of deciding if something is scientific or not. Verifiability, according to him, is not sufficient. This theory must give a criteria by which it can be falsified. Falsification is the most important criterion according to him. There must be possibility of falsifying. So, and then if it is falsified, the theory can be just rejected. But, or modified maybe. It is, but verifiability, now certain things cannot be verified easily. And even if they are verified, if there is no criterion for falsifiability, then it all hangs in lot of doubts, and therefore certain conclusions may not prove it, but then there has to be the possibility of falsifiability. For example, the simple conclusion that we again learn in the middle school, that hydrogen combined with oxygen. And what happens then, Ashutosh? What do you get? Water. Yeah, that is a simple statement that we have. And there is the falsifiability embedded in that. That suppose you combine hydrogen and oxygen, and instead of getting water, say you got mercury, then the conclusion is falsified. So therefore, there is the possibility of falsification. That was Karl Popper's main contribution in a way, the requirement of falsifiability for science. If we take this and apply it to the idea of rebirth, is there a possibility of falsifiability? Yes, sure. If you can prove that there is nothing like rebirth, then there is the possibility of falsifiability. But basically, these things, do they fall in the realm of what is called the physical science? And then there we have to say, no. It doesn't, because physical science deals with what can be observed through senses. And therefore that which is not happening in the realm of senses, science cannot draw any provable or even falsifiable conclusion about it. Science would say, if the scientist is honest, would say, no, I cannot. This is not what I can either affirm or deny. It is not the domain of science. So therefore, in that sense, it is, no, science cannot prove rebirth. But there are many, many facts that which we see all the time, every now and then, here itself, every moment we can say, we see those. Are they really provable? For example, rebirth, you question about. Is birth provable? It is a big question, friends. You may say, a mass of flesh and such things comes out, and then you say that is the birth of a being. Now, imagine, how do you ascribe the identity of this maybe 3-4 pounds, 5 pounds of flesh with somebody who is 90 years old and walking with stick, and so how are you think that this is the same person as that? This 5 pounds of heap of flesh, now that is all gone. What you were seeing by the eyes or feeling through your other senses, now that that one that you say was born, now how do you see that that is the same person? There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever. So forget about rebirth. Science cannot even prove birth. It is something came out of something, that's all. But how that thing gets that identity, that it is the same thing, there is no way of doing it. If you think of, say, memory, that there is no memory that anybody has when you came out from the mother's womb. Do you remember that? Anybody? Punita, do you remember? No, what is that? No, it is that. What is your date of birth? One should honestly say, I don't remember. I was too little at that time. I didn't have any memory, because nobody actually has any memory of being born. It is then we are kind of brainwashed or brainstormed that this is your date of birth. Somebody else tells you. You have no memory of it. So, where is then the continuity? That's 5 pound heap of flesh and other things. How that is the 90-year-old fellow? There is no proof. Try to find, there is absolutely no proof. And yet we swallow it. That is our understanding of science. Nobody questions that. That actually, therefore, let alone rebirth, even birth cannot be proved scientifically. So, if we accept birth, that, and everybody accepts, I was born on such and such date. In the medical things, I tell that many times, that they ask to verify, tell us your date of birth. I tell some January 7th or whatever, and I tell that, and then what year? And I tell, making my face as simple as possible. It happens same. It is for every year. It is the same. So, yeah, every year same. But then that person asking at the counter says, no. But tell me, and then there is the confusion. I mean, what was the year that you actually were born? Now, what is the meaning of this actually were born? There is really only very empirical and evidence that yes, somebody entered that date, and you take it as your date of birth. There was one incident in a very small village of India, that it is that and it has happened here also in the city of Providence, not about birth but about something again like birth. It is there the first school was started. And then the school inspectors from the state education department came, and then they just saw the register of the students, and saw that all these students, against them the same date of birth was put. And when the clerk at the school was asked how the same date of birth was put, and he said, well, nobody knew the date of birth. So, therefore, approximately I put that same date for all, taking that on that date they were 6-year-old. So, I went back 6 years and then put that date, that's all. If you see the Providence cities, this register of the houses, you will see most of the houses, it will be said that built in 1928. All 1928. No, before the point is that before that there was no registration for the city of Providence, didn't have all those records before that, and therefore everything is 1928. By digging then deeper and getting the other records, for example, that this building, means the one that is, attached to this, that was built sometimes in 1836. So, but we say that it was all 1928. It is so, even birth is not provable. Now, how the normal science works, it creates probabilities, possibilities, and then we take that as scientific. It is like the chance of snow. Today it was told, 2 days ago the forecast was there will be snow today. The chances of snow, 20%, 25%. At 5 p.m. it was going to be 40%. Now this is all what? Probability. It is gets that no, it didn't happen, and there are various reasons for that are not known. So, and that is mentioned that how the winds will change the direction. We don't govern that. So as the winds change, the predictions will also change, and so forth. So, but that is considered a science, and it is, to analyze all that and draw certain conclusions. So, if we use this same idea here in rebirth, then we will be able to see that rebirth is at least as scientific as any conclusion of physical science is. It is, firstly, this is what Swami Vivekananda pointed out. It is that there is no other explanation of the obvious variety of things, people, other creatures, and all that. What makes them different from each other? Again, I invoke a principle from science, that uniformity or oneness does not require a reason. But if you are seeing multiplicity, you have to show how A is different from B. They should at least have one thing. This is a simple thing that is taught in mathematics, that if you say these are two things, there should be at least one thing that is not shared by both of them. If everything that has A is also with B, then there is no difference between A and B. So we see so much variety, variety in skin colors. Say, even if you take only human beings, variety in skin colors, variety in height and weight and so forth, varieties of temperaments, a variety of interests, a variety of the capability of learning. It is so varied. So, why is this variety? The only explanation is that it was there before and then it came now here. It is, and in Vedanta treatises, now I am coming to Vedanta, which is tremendously scientific in the sense that everything is shown to be verifiable. The means of research have been presented, and how to apply them, that also is presented. And therefore, they now bring this idea that, what is the death? Analyze what is the death. That a person, say that 5 pounds of the bulk of flesh that came out, and then the person grew to be 90 years, 91 years, 96 years, 100 years, and then kicked the bucket. Then, now what has gone away? That body has gone. But there was something more to it than that. And that is what the Vedanta calls the subtle body. Vedanta speaks of 3 bodies, that out of which one can easily understand the gross body and the subtle body. And nowadays, understanding and explaining the subtle body has become so easy, because most of you are at least familiar with the terms hardware and software. You know, Bianca, isn't it? Hardware and software. So, body is the hardware. But what makes the body function? That is how the software is. The same hardware with different softwares installed on that function differently. And because it is the software which makes it function. So the software is called subtle body. So gross body falls off because of use, natural, that wear and tear, and many other things are involved. This body falls off, cannot now function with that software. So now what happens? Just as what we do with our smartphones, cell phones, is there anybody who does not use smartphones? It is hard to find a person, that doesn't use smartphones now. Everybody uses smartphones. Do you use, Rob? Huh? You use, Yeah. There's nobody who doesn't use these days. Some 15 years ago, when somebody asked me that you were, well, I am not smart enough, I would say, to handle a smartphone. So, but now everybody has a smartphone. And how these smartphones are made? The phone apparatus, the hardware, is made to last for 4 years. If you stretch it, maybe 5 years. After that, what happens? it is difficult to keep charging it. You charge it, and in 15 minutes it shows zero charge. So it is, thus it is not very good. Also, all the new applications you cannot now download on this old hardware. They are all new, require certain new things. So it is, that is how the hardware is gone very fast. But when you see that this phone, I have to get a new phone, you say. I have to get a new phone. Do you need a new phone, Teresa? Not now, okay. Okay. Yeah, so after some time, you need to get a new phone. But when you get a new phone, do you lose all those files that you have put on it? All the nice pictures you might have taken, and all the contacts that you have. And what do you do? Do you lose them? You transfer them from the old phone to the new phone. You may be storing it in cloud, or just put the old phone SIM card into the new phone, and thus you get it transferred. So exactly in the same manner, friends, when this old body, now it cannot execute the functions that the software has. Software has, like for example, the software in this body has all the functionality of, say, climbing an Everest. But the hardware, even the Providence, this hill, downtown to here, I find difficult. So it is like that, So the software has that possibility, but the hardware is not now capable of executing those possibilities. So now, therefore, the hardware is to be discarded. New hardware is to be taken, in which the old software gets installed. That software is called subtle body. And that is what is called rebirth. I will briefly explain the various components of which what we call I. And that is the basic principle in Vedanta, that is the only thing that you cannot deny. I am. So that is taken as the ground for exploration. Something that you have to say that it is true. And on the basis of that, now you build the edifice of your theories, scientific investigations and conclusions. I am. Now analyze what this I you think of. It is as consciousness itself. You have to assume, or you can conclude easily, that it is all pervading. It is only when couched in a body that we become different. But without the body, where is the difference? You may say, well, the minds are different. Yeah, that is the software. That is called the subtle body. So, the gross bodies, subtle bodies, and then there is a causal body. This causal body is the body that you get in a way first, the cause of why do we need a body, why the body actually came there. Ask this question, friends. The reason, or what we normally understand by reason, that reason is not dawned there. But in a different sense, the reason is that this I without any specifications, therefore all-pervading and eternal. There is no limitation of space or limitation of time there, friends. And now that I gets a desire, that is how many beautiful age-old Vedanta texts describe it. Like in Rig Veda, there is the Nasadiya Sukta. It describes like that in the beginning. Now, in the beginning, this word is not to be understood in the sense of time, because it is before the beginning of time. Now, how our language is too poor to express that idea. When the time also was not there, then kamas tadagre samavartatadhi. It felt as it were, it is distinct. There is some distinction. I and the world, that is the basic distinction. I and the world. And then there is the desire for the world. Desire psychologically, it indicates, not your psychology, it is the psychologically desire means to achieve that original oneness. It is that is why people want to appropriate things so that the lost oneness will be regained. But that is a very wrong way of achieving it. And that is why it keeps on becoming more and more varied instead of coming to unification. So it is this desire. Now, to fulfill the desire, you require means. And the bodies are the means. The causal body is just this ignorance of our true, infinite, ever perfect, ever blissful nature. That is forgotten. One becomes ignorant of that, and then thus wants to appropriate things. I am little, I am so little, I want to become big. And thus for that the tools are invented. The tools are this software and the hardware, the subtle body and the gross body. These become the tools. And with that, one starts appropriating things, runs after pleasures, and then one hardware becomes now not usable. We saw how it happens. Then whatever you have done, you collect and put it in another hardware. New birth happens. It is, and many question, very nice questions, but the answers are very counterintuitive. One question that gets asked is that how much gap is there between the death of the body and the rebirth? The difference, the time difference is there, but not as you are thinking. First the rebirth happens, and then this old body is discarded, not the other way. First the body dies. What do? Don't you get another phone first? Otherwise, actually, you get another phone first, and then transferring all the data, you discard this old one or give it to somebody. I had one phone that is, now I get told Adi Maharaj didn't have, so I said, okay, you use this phone. So it is, but all the data, everything, contacts and all gets transferred first. Therefore, the rebirth happens first. Then the old body is discarded. So this is how it happens. That it is just like you change phone, or you change house, or you change the car. What do? First you make sure that you have a car to use, and then this old one is now not usable, is very risky to drive it, so you discard it. So similarly, when you change the your house, rental or this owned, you first what? Get another one. Otherwise you will have to sleep on the streets, you see. And then discard the old house. Bye now, my old house. So that is how you can see that these rebirth like that happens. And you will see this described so beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, and almost all the major Upanishads contain this idea. Why? Because it is very important for our spiritual understanding, that there is the core in us that doesn't die. Undieable, deathless core of our being. That is there, immortal. And therefore it is told in scriptures that you are immortal. You are the children of immortality. Amritasya putraha. Swami Vivekananda declared it in the Parliament of Religions. That we do not say that the person really dies, only like the change of clothings. You change the clothings because this is getting torn, now not usable. So, okay, we can use this for some time as a rag to wipe things and so forth. But to put on, then I must get something else. So just as the change of clothing does not mean you die. In fact, you become happy, isn't it? Oh, you go and show to everybody, say, wait for others to appreciate it. Where did you get this dress? You feel happy that people are asking about it. So it is, you feel happy to get new clothing. So why worry about death, you know? You will be getting a new body. You will get a new body. What, Vishwanath, isn't it? Yeah, one need not worry about, what if I die? Oh, that is only this cloth that will be changed. In Bhagavad Gita, that is a very emphatic statement. Vasamsi jirinani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirinani anyani sanyati navani dehi. That just as a cloth that has been worn out, jirinani, worn out, now what do? You discard it. You cannot use it anymore. It is, I have the bad habit of using it for a long time, and sometimes therefore very difficult situation I land in. That this cloth, for example, is now worn out. I should have changed it to a new one. Not that the new one is not there, but okay, today it will be fine. And then right in some program I am sitting there and it gets torn. So thus, you know what I mean is that to put on the new clothes, that is important. Say, body has no difference than a clothing. Try to see that. A very beautiful, apt analogy, that this, just as you change the clothes, similarly You change the worn out body to get another body. And then, how long, how many bodies one has to keep on taking? Say you got a rebirth. Now all your previous knowledge is already installed in the new body. That is why we have the child prodigies. One little child, now he has grown up a bit, but he was playing tabla as if like an accomplished tabla player, 5-year-old fellow. Imagine, nobody at the home is a musician. So where did he get it? No genetic transmission, friends. Many tried, the folly of the so-called science is tried to explain things which cannot be explained from that angle. Oh, this is, just a genetic transmission. No, not genetic transmission at all. The forefathers never played tabla there in their home. And thus, how did this child get it? He had got it from his previous birth. He was taking training classes and all that. The old body passed away, but all the knowledge earned got there. Many people, including myself, feel very nervous about mathematics. Not very good at math. But there are some who, find it so easy. They are mathematical prodigies. In many things, in many sports and all that, you discover that some have that tremendous expertise right from the birth. Some become religious. They were never given religion as such in the beginning. How did they become religious and spiritual? In their family there is no such history. But this person, how does this person becomes religious? Now you have to revert to this rebirth. That is the only, I am using the word only in bold letters, explanation, that it was acquired previously and now in this new body it is functional. Science cannot see it because the physical science has limitations that it can see only that which the senses they show, that's all. The eyes, these other senses, they bring that knowledge, and that range of that knowledge is very, very limited. So they cannot discuss, they cannot bring these things to us. But if you apply logic, then you can get this glimpse. And then one question gets often asked, and Swami Vivekananda has beautifully dealt that question, that if the same person reincarnates in another body, why do we not have the memory of my past incarnation? The answer there is twofold, friends. One is that I told in the beginning, that does your existence depend on memory? You may forget many things. Like when you were a just born baby, maybe 15 minutes ago, do you have memory? Nobody has memory of that. And if our existence depends on memory, will you draw this conclusion that no, I was never a baby? What a foolish thought, friends. So our existence does not depend on memory. Moreover, there have been a lot of study that people can be induced false memories. There is a technique that one can be told that somebody can come to say our what is her name? Marcella, thank you. See, I forgot, but that doesn't mean Marcella doesn't exist, isn't it? Marcella. So, somebody comes to Marcella and says, "Oh, I'm so glad to meet you again here. Wow. How are you doing?" Marcella kind of, "What is this? I don't know this fellow." She says, sorry, but I don't remember you. Did we ever meet? This person, you need to, have that hypnotic techniques. Makes a face. "Oh, you do not remember that incident? It was a very rainy day, a lot of rains. And then we met at the mall. You were buying something, I was buying something else, and it was a big rain. And you didn't have an umbrella, so we shared the umbrella, my umbrella, and we came together. And then you boarded a bus. You forgot all that. Oh, you had put on that attire that day. And because of this persuasion, Marcella starts really feeling that yes, I had met that person. Oh yes, now I start remembering. Not only it doesn't stop just there. She later on tells friends, I met a man today that I had forgotten all about. But actually we did meet and so forth. So a false memory can be generated. And many true memories. Somebody had been telling me about that meeting me and on this and this day and then at this place. I said, no, it cannot be. I don't remember at all. Then I later on looked my diary and everything that was being told was there. I had written it. I immediately conveyed that I am so sorry that what you said is 100% true. So memory is no proof at all. So what else is the objection? There is no other objection. So the falsifiability criterion of science gets fulfilled. That it is that can you falsify it? See, try. There is the criterion. And see if it is falsifiable, that somebody died, never existed. So, no, you can trace it. Second thing is that although almost nobody remembers exactly from the past life, yet there are cases where, and I have seen 2 cases, where the past memory existed. And that was such a torture to that person. That was a young girl. And then she started remembering where she lived, and that was all verified. Exactly that house that she was born, then lived there, grew up there, the names of the people and the other neighbors, everything was perfectly correct. And then that young girl was having such big psychological problems. Because you can imagine, even with the memory of this life, our brains are so terribly clogged. Imagine the memories of past birth also get inserted there. It will be terrible, to carry on our regular life. That is why this is a safety arrangement, that all those old memories will be blocked but the essence of that will come to you, like the expertise that you have attained. So this is how this gives us this spiritual insight. In that sense, scientifically one can prove it. Other way is that you can also get all the understanding of what you were in the previous birth when you get this spiritual growth, to disidentify from this body. We are so much identified with this heap of flesh and blood. Most, if a person is scientific, then cannot identify with the body really. Those who identify with the body are therefore not scientists at all. How can this heap of flesh and blood that keeps on changing all the time, how can that be I? What is I? So therefore, when one disidentifies with the body, now you have the capability of what you were in various previous incarnations. And you can see that. For that one has to come to that stage. Anyway, friends, the lecture is getting too long today, but the topic is also a bit long. Anyway, so I'll conclude it here. In case if you have questions, please feel free to voice them or type them if you are listening on the web. As Adi Maharaj has a question.
Prabhupada. So, we see in one life that someone can develop many skills and expertise in different fields. So if you look at maybe a dozen lives or like more lives, then they could accumulate so many of these qualities. So I'm wondering if, to a greater or lesser extent, the memory or the latent memory is retained in maybe the causal body, but many of the qualities might be destroyed, because otherwise you would have so many qualities, or you would just be the same in every life.
Yes, that is correct. That the memories, they get retained in the causal body, all memories. But that is a very different, tremendously compressed format. That is not openable in this subtle body, or let alone openable in our brains. Yeah. But it is there, yeah.
I'm asking, so there's memory, and then there's the qualities themselves. Like you could have memory of being very skilled in archery. You could have memory of being, let's say a very honest, virtuous person. But those qualities in themselves, right, it seems like over many lifetimes you would either accumulate so many, or they would be the same in every life, unless like some of them, gradually get lost over time, through lives.
It is everything is separately accumulated, separately stored, as you said, in the causal body. But that format is so condensed that it is not openable in our subtle body, nor, of course, not in the brain, in the physical body. Our memories, we get identified with this physical body and brain. There the format is very loose format. The brain functions, now I don't want to get into that, it functions in the linear manner, the brain logic. But The logic at the subtle body is more complex, and at the causal body is far, far more complex and compressed. So therefore, we will not be able to know, as I was telling, unless we disidentify with this body, which takes lot of spiritual practice, lot of meditation. One evidence you can see in Buddha's, those Jataka tales, that he remembers what he was in that life and what happened and so forth. That is a unique literature in the spiritual history of mankind, the Jataka tales of Buddha. Yeah. Any other question here? Oh, Bianca has a question. So you have to go from one end to other end, you see.
Thanks. I'm just, your explanation made me think about the recent lecture I heard on the qualities of subject and matter being the gross body, for example, according to your lecture,
Yeah.
and therefore impermanent, therefore supermortal. And while on the other hand, subject is internal, permanent. So in a sense, we're talking about two separate realities. And one is real, and the other one is delusionary.
They are not two separate. The connection, just to give an analogy, the waves and the ocean. So the physical expression is, the ephemeral, comes and goes, the object. The subject is like the sea. But just as the waves and ocean are not really separate from each other, the waves depend on the ocean. Ocean does not depend on the waves. That is that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other question? No question here, huh? So any question upstairs? Nothing?
Yes, there is. Maharaj,
Okay,
one
okay.
Question from Tilak ji.
Shilajit.
No, Tilak.
Tilak ji. Okay, Tilak.
Swamiji, sometimes a body is discarded while it is still young,
Yes.
unable, usable and fit. Why?
Yeah. A good question. Just like sometimes one discards a fairly functional new phone for another one. Actually, the one I discarded was functional, but there was the one who arranges these things for me said that, well, they have a good deal on this new one. So therefore, although the old one was still functional, our Adi Maharaj is still using that. Still, I was given this one, that okay, because there is a sale on this or whatever, so I got that one. Similarly, the body may be new, but but still a more efficient, more what I should say, capable body is on offer, then you take it. There are several reasons for that. I am just telling one possibility. But there are other possibilities that this body you have got only for some time. That it is like you have a lease of a car. Now, although the car is very functional, very good, very nice, your lease, 1 year lease is expired, then what do? You have to give it or buy it or whatever. So it is, similarly, you get a body on lease. You don't actually buy it. And so, after the lease is over, the person says, okay, I will find another one. So it is like that. So That is the reason that even at the young age people die. Some die voluntarily, some die involuntarily, and so forth. Some die accidentally. As an accident, a person is actually very fit, young, but then in an accident dies. Now what happens? Now is forced to give up that body and has to shop urgently for the new body. And till then has to manage somehow using some rental car or whatever. So some rental body is used, That's a different topic. I will take it up on someday. What is the meaning of taking a body on rent? Not owning but renting. It is perfectly possible. Most people actually do not own houses, they rent houses. So similarly, a body can also be rented. So, and when the rent lease is over, you say, okay, we have so many these university students staying around here. The rent is, for 1 year. After 1 year, then they either come back to stay in the same place, but mostly find some other place which is more suitable and cheaper and all that. So that is how one dies at a young age. Any other question? Okay, so we shall conclude. Let me tell you the upcoming programs. Yeah, next Sunday we shall be discussing a very beautiful idea in what is called Karma Yoga. And many, ask this question, what is my duty? One has to perform one's duty, but what is exactly my duty? So we shall discuss that coming Sunday, February 8th. All other programs during the week, like the Tuesday and Friday classes at 7:30 p.m. will go on as usual. Tuesdays the topic is Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Fridays it is the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. The morning and evening meditations are open for everybody. Please see if you can come, that will be wonderful. So you can come early morning, Rob. Yeah, okay. So, and this Saturday, there is, coming Saturday, a day-long meditation. So that is from 12 to 8. If you like, you can come for that. Wonderful experience anyway. So we shall conclude now with the closing prayers. So chant loudly this closing prayer. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Now there will be the Arati in this hall. You can come there or join from here. After the Arati, there will be soup supper. The soup is very delicious. So you can, if you want to get there, please remove the shoes, put it under your chair.
Yes, yes, giving. All right. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Stainless Lord, assuming human form, transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is your form. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, illusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Your feet always dear to your devotees. From above to cross this world, reveal to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of all worldly sorrow and compassion so infinite is your word. Your offered for the world's deliverance. Your life's offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. Renouncer of all lust and lucre, therefore you were always spurning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless
devotees, causeless refuge of your devotees, renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, great both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Darkness is destroyed by your light. Oh Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Joya, joya for your worship divine. Hara, hara for your worship divine. Shiva, Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all-seeing God. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddhadev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Adbhutanand Ki Jai. So today, being Swami Adbhutanandaji's birth anniversary, we'll be singing the Parshad Vandanam song, the direct disciple birthday song. And we'll repeat the line that corresponds to Swami Adbhutananda one more time. জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল জয় মাতা শ্যামা সুতা অতি নিরমল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল জয় বিবেক আনন্দ পরম দয়াল প্রভুর মানস সুত জয় শ্রী রাখাল জয় প্রেমানন্দ প্রেম ময় কলেবর জয় শিবানন্দ জয় লীলা সহচর যোগী যোগানন্দ জয় নিত্য নিরঞ্জন জয় শশী গুরুপদে গত তনুমান জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল সেবা পর যোগীবর অদ্ভুত আনন্দ রিপিট সেবা পর যোগীবর অদ্ভুত আনন্দ অভেদ আনন্দ জয় গত মহবন্ধ যোগরত ত্যাগ ব্রত তুরীয় অখ্যাত শরত সুধীর শান্ত যেন গণনাথ জীবে শিব সেবা ভক্ত গঙ্গাধর বীর জয় শ্রী বিজ্ঞানানন্দ প্রশান্ত গম্ভীর প্রধান গোপাল মাতৃ সেবা পরায়ণ শারদা শারদা পদে গত প্রাণ মন জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল বালক চরিত্র জয় সুবোধ সরল নাগবর ত্যাগ বীর বিবেক সম্বল কথামৃত বরিশন গৌর জলধর গিরিশ ভৈরব জয় বিশ্বাস আকার রাম কৃষ্ণ দাস দাস জয় সবাকার রাম কৃষ্ণ লীলা স্থান জয় বারম্বার রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম জয় শ্রবণ মঙ্গল বাঞ্ছিতো জয় চরণ কমল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল।
Reading a short biographical sketch of Swami Adbhutananda on his birth anniversary. His birth name was Rakturam. His last name is not known or not given. His monastic name means that which is wonderful. He who finds bliss in the wonderful nature of Atman. Birthplace in northeast India, Chapra district of Bihar. His birth date is unknown. Education, none. Hobbies / interests, not known. Religious influence, lived with and served Ramachandra Datta, a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. His first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna was in 1879/80 when Ramchandra brought him to visit Sri Ramakrishna. Rakturam was born to a poor village couple who worked hard to get merely one meal per day. Both parents died before Rakturam was 5 years of age. An uncle took him in, soon came into difficult times and needed to relocate to Calcutta. Rakturam was employed as a houseboy in the home of Ramchandra Datta, a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. He was hardworking and faithful, yet maintained a strong sense of self-respect. It was here that he became familiar with Kirtana and heard much about Sri Ramakrishna through the household members. He asked Ramchandra to bring him to Dakshineswar. At that first meeting, Sri Ramakrishna spoke of ever-free souls. The knowledge of those who are ever-free souls only needs to be unveiled, as it were. They are like underground springs which remain covered until a stonemason digging in the earth removes a particular rock. Then the water begins to flow. He touched Rakturam and he went into an ecstatic state for an hour, after which Sri Ramakrishna touched him again and brought him to normal consciousness. From this point, Rakturam found it difficult to complete allotted household duties for Ramachandra Datta. He went to visit Sri Ramakrishna, but he was away. Rakturam wandered around the gardens morose and empty. Ram Babu recognized the situation and gave him a photo of Sri Ramakrishna. One day, Sri Ramakrishna asked Ramchandra to allow Rakturam to be his attendant. Ramchandra quickly agreed. Rakturam's only concern in life from this point was how to serve Sri Ramakrishna with absolute faithfulness. A mere wish was a sacred injunction. His love for Holy Mother was as great, and he was as a son to her in speaking and behavior. He was totally unlettered. Sri Ramakrishna tried to teach him the basic Bengali alphabet, but he could not even pronounce the letters properly.
Sri Ramakrishna gave up and proclaimed that Latu had surpassed even him in total illiteracy. Rakturam's nickname became Latu. Once he fell asleep at early evening. Sri Ramakrishna rebuked him, saying, "If you sleep at such an auspicious time, when will you find time to meditate?" It was a 2-year struggle to conquer night sleep, and for the rest of his life, Latu would only take a short afternoon nap and spend the whole night in meditation. He lived with an irregular schedule regarding meals, living arrangements, and the like. His meditative state was such that he would forget meals and drink and surroundings. He was very unsophisticated, but would not waste time in vain discussions. Once, while meditating on the banks of the Ganges, the flood tide surrounded him, and Sri Ramakrishna had to come take him out. Again, in the Shiva temple, he entered into such a meditative trance for several hours that his body was so covered with sweat that when Sri Ramakrishna found him, he himself fanned Latu until he came down to normal consciousness. He could not conform to the routine life of a monastery. After the Mahasamadhi of Sri Ramakrishna, Latu also took his monastic vows like other brother disciples and became Swami Adbhutananda. He would live around the Calcutta area, taking a room in a devotee's home, or would live along the banks of the Ganges. Neither physical needs nor noises of the outside world would disturb him. Such was his total dependence on Sri Ramakrishna. He wished for 2 boons: one, to engage in spiritual practices without having to become a wandering monk, and 2, to have a good digestion. The reason for the second was, there's no knowing what food a monk will get. If he has a good stomach, he can take any food and thereby preserve his health to devote energy to increase spiritual practices. He preferred the method of directing one's energy to building one's character. He was not directly and formally involved in the Ramakrishna mission and mutt works. As such, identification with those works would be disruptive to the inner flow of his spiritual life. He spent his last 8 years in Varanasi, eating, sleeping, teaching, walking at totally irregular patterns, so that his attendant needed to be on constant guard. He suffered from diabetes and then later developed a blister on one leg. Gangrene eventually set in and necessitated daily operations. Latu Maharaj, Swami Adbhutananda, as he had been lovingly called, would not show expression of the pain of the operations. He would say, "It is a great botheration to have a body." Swami Adbhutananda entered eternal peace on April 24th, 1920. Swami Triyananda, in a very touching letter, described his passing away as follows. He entered a meditative state from the first moment he fell ill, and remained absorbed in that state till he left his body. He showed no signs of pain during his illness, but the wonder of all wonders was that after his death, when his body was placed in a sitting posture to conform to some of the funeral rites, we found him looking so beautiful, so serene, and so full of peace and bliss. His face beamed with light and intelligence unspeakable, as if he were taking leave from his friends for the last time with an exhortation of affectionate benediction. Some sayings of Swami Adbhutananda. 1. There are 3 possible relationships one can have with God: my God, or I am God, or I am God's. The last one is the best, as it does not tempt pride. 2. When you dive deep into the Ganges, though there are thousands of pounds of water above you, you don't feel the weight. Similarly, if you plunge into God's creation, yet still hold on to Him, you will not feel its burden. then the world becomes a place of merriment. 3. Have you seen the polishing jars with the colored liquids? A tarnished brass pot is dipped into one jar and the tarnish disappears. Then another jar and it turns a golden color. Likewise, dip your mind in the jar of the Lord's name and all unclean stuff will be washed away. Then dip it in the jar of the Lord's grace. You will see how beautifully your real nature will come out. 4. Merely seeing the Master and serving him are not enough to attain the highest. It is not that easy. Both self-effort and divine grace are necessary to realize God. Yet, without self-effort, how can one attain grace? You have to work so hard for even a little grace. Is it easy to hold on to the Lord's grace? Has grace a limited dimension that achieving it will make an aspirant quiet/receptive? 5. Do you think a monk is your sweeper who will keep sweeping your mind for you day after day? He may clean it once, then it is up to you to keep it clean. If you don't have motivation, what can a monk do? Can a holy man erase your past impressions or carry you to the Lord on his shoulders? He will show you the path, but you must walk it yourself. 6. If you believe in God and then serve society, you can never feel any resentment. People may get social merit through philanthropic activities, but if their egos are involved, they will not get any spiritual merit. Even the result of good action turns into bondage if it is done with ego. But unselfish action destroys the bondage of action and brings liberation to humanity. Salutations to Swami Adbhutananda.